Up to 30% of U.S. military members and veterans are battling PTSD, even those who weren't injured or in combat. If you're one of the many, you should know that you don't have to suffer. Treatment for PTSD is available. If you suffer from PTSD-related depression and anxiety, you're not alone. There are so many veterans and current enlisted just like you. You don't have to suffer. Find the help and resources you need and deserve at connectingvets.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McKenna, McKenna BMW in Norwalk and South Bay BMW in Torrance. You haven't heard me on the radio for a while because we haven't had enough cars to sell, but that's all changing. With 2 BMW dealerships serving LA and Orange County, we have a great selection of new BMWs. In fact, if you don't see what you're looking for, it's either on its way or we can special order and deliver it to your door. The days of walking through 1,000 new BMWs are gone, but finding exactly what you want at McKenna BMW or South Bay BMW is here to stay. Visit McKennaCars.com or stop by the dealership nearest you. You're going to thank me.
Fun, entertaining, knowledgeable.
All right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Live and local. It's time for the Fan Morning Show with Bart Winkler.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Kind of a weird, wacky Thursday. I'm Bart Winkler. That's Toby Altizer from the Lakeland University studios. Online or in person, learn your way at lakeland.edu. Well, we got a loaded couple of hours here, everybody. Ryan Wood, PackersNews.com. He'll join us at 8:15. I want to go over some of these injuries. Kevin King got a concussion. Nobody's sure how. Maybe Devin Williams punched him in the head. I don't know what happened. Maybe he just thought that Kevin King was a wall. Should I be more mad about Devin? Should I be like mad? Should I be like, oh, how irresponsible and your teammates and I saw somebody tweet this. Just gonna read the tweet. You can search it and see who said it. Still find myself shaking my head over the Devin Williams news. He let down his team, his franchise, the fans. You can't just be this stupid. And might I suggest anger management? Punching holes in walls is not normal. Hashtag sub issues. Well, sir, as if you've never had any anger management problems in your life. I just can't, I don't know. It's dumb. It sucks. It sucks. What am I supposed to? What do you want me to do? Oh, Devin, how dare you? You need to learn better. You got to respect your teammates. You're in a pennant race. Stern says you can't be judged by your worst moment. And like I said, I threw coleslaw once. You think I want that shadow on me the rest of my life? That was something very bad I did. I'm the kind of guy that throws coleslaw in a bar in Cleveland to pretend like I'm LeBron James, and everyone around me laughs. That's the kind of guy I am. Devin Williams. So he punched a wall. He got drunk. He punched a wall. Something happened. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna scold this guy. It sucks. You look at it. You look at the news. You look at all those guys tweet. You know, who are the guys there? Rosiak and McKelvey and Will Salmon. They all tweet at the same time. And then I hope they don't have notifications on their phone because it's quote tweet. And people just going, why? God, no, what, how, stupid. I don't know, man. It sucks. And again, if they don't win this year, they have to win now. Devin Williams, they need him to win. He needs them to win. Because if they don't win now, this is the Devin Williams year. That's it. It's the Devin Williams year. If they don't win in 30 years, yeah, Brewers, man, they had a really good team, but then their reliever, he punched a wall drunk after the celebration. Just like 19 is the Trent Grisham year. That's what you call it. But I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not. You know, I must come down from and I decree Devin to be world's worst guy, and I will be on my high horse as if I've done nothing wrong. This is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They have you ever been to a hospital in this town? There is a section, there are wards specifically for people that break their hands while drinking. You just walk in and, yep, right to the right. Oh, you broke your hand drinking? Okay. Just go right down to the right. Notebook Mike. You've been known to fight a wall or two?
Yeah, I put my head into some drywall.
Oh, you did? A little headbutt?
But I didn't really need the head, you know?
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to say, oh, yeah, buddy, yeah.
Well, my dome. This has been a hilarious moment. People using all my takes. Tim Allen's probably mad because I called him out because he loves these celebrations. You know. All right.
Yeah, they didn't celebrate when they clinched. They shouldn't have celebrated after division. Somebody got too drunk and punched a wall.
Oh, he wanted a celebration for like a week ago.
Oh, I know he did. He wanted to pop champagne after 50 wins.
I called and I told him, I said, until that trophy's in the locker room, you don't pop no corks.
No.
Well, anyway, I can't think of the guy's name. He was a Packer, and he went to the Raiders. Okay?
Sure.
And he was, you know, dipping around with the women, and he got popped.
Dipping around with the women?
You know, doing things, you know, strip club stuff. And they suspended him for that game.
What do you get? Like he got in a fight?
He was a cornerback. Go ahead.
No, I don't know who you're referencing.
He was a Packer.
How long ago?
Oh, Brett Favre years. And then Brett Favre years, there was
I can think of Eugene Robinson.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, he went to Atlanta.
But he got popped doing something he shouldn't have been doing.
Well,
and no one hung him on a cross. I mean,
he's really been blackballed from society actually since then.
And then another Packer, and I know the owner of the bar. He was in there popping caps at people, and he got suspended. I mean, we can't put this all on this kid. How old is he? 26?
Yeah, 27.
27. How old are you?
37.
How old's Toaster?
He just turned 17.
Someday you're going to wake up and go, why did I do that? And I guess Devin's going to wake up and say, why did I do that? Well, you did it. You can't turn back the clock. You know what I mean? He could have very easily gotten a car drunk and killed somebody, or drunk driving and suspended. So, and real quick, I'm going to let you go after this. I don't know why everyone's looking over the Steelers here. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think the Steelers are that good.
Oh, so you're saying just roll the helmets out?
No, I said that against the Saints. That was a mistake.
See? Okay. I know how to bet on now.
I mean, I'm actually doing very bad on my picks. Well, I did think that the Detroit game went like I thought it would, but that went how everyone thought it would. Everyone thought it would go that way, where they'd score, it'd be close, but then they'd win, and everything would be fine. Everyone knew it'd be that way. I thought they'd destroy the Saints, and I thought the Niners would embarrass the Packers. And I think the Packers will beat the Steelers by, I don't know, 8-9 points.
Just keep your money in your pocket. Don't bet on sports. But, you know, these 3-0 teams, I called the radio the other day. I said, what, are you going to crown them already? Are you giving them the trophy? They got a long way to go. There's 17 games.
Who's being crowned?
Oh, they're Rams.
Well, they're good, though.
Raiders.
Yeah, they're fun.
Chargers.
They're 2-1.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
They lost to the Rams.
Here's the key to this whole thing. Packers need a home game, and it's got to be 40 below zero. It can't be like an autumn October Day. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm always right, eh?
More than me.
Okay. All right. See you at the Quick Trip.
Yep. See ya. Notebook Mike. Thank you. Ron is in Rome. What's up, Ron?
Yeah, hi. Toby said he couldn't understand why people aren't madder.
Yeah.
And I think you got to remember that this is a state with heavy drinkers. And either people are still heavy drinking or they're old like me, and those days are over, but they remember when they did dumb things.
Yeah, I'd say 1 out of every 10 people listening right now are currently recovering from a broken hand.
Well, I never broke my hand, but I've done dumb things when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I'm sure nobody feels worse than Devin.
If there's a state to do this in, it's this state.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he knows he's stupid. Possibly this could ruin his whole career. Maybe there'll be something wrong with his hand, and he won't be able to pitch as well anymore. And, no one's going to feel worse than him. So I don't really like kicking a guy when he's down, even though, everybody knows it was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. And why should I be like all, I don't know. I'm not going to listen to people.
And some of these people that tweet, oh, he's so stupid, I hope they don't ever have to raise teenagers.
Yeah, like, we all make mistakes. What, this guy, I'm supposed to be mad at this guy because my sports team might suffer? I just hope he's okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, Ron. See you, buddy. Yeah. You know what? In my old age, I'm just trying to, okay. Oh, the Wisconsin sports curse is back. No, it's not. It's over. Bucks won the title. Brewers can power through this. And then the Brewers next year will be selling like big inflatable wall punching hands. And Devin Williams will be, marketing them, and it'll be fun. Funny. It's oversized hats. Funny. So maybe that's where we'll go. 414-799-1250, 414-799-1250. Windows Select 262-703-3500. The deals that they have at Windows Select, certainly worth celebrating, not punching anything over. They've got the buy one, everything's got to be a segue. I couldn't do it without a segue, everything. Buy one, get one on the Windows. So no matter how many windows you buy, you get half of those windows for free. You buy 20 windows, you're going to get 10 for free. You buy 200 windows, you're going to get 100 for free. You buy 400 windows, you're going to get 200 for free. You buy 500, you get the point. They also have a double lifetime warranty on all their products, window siding and doors, and you don't have to make any payments for a full year. So when you want the stuff installed, here's how it works. And they're also celebrating the fact that, by the way, they're a proud partner now of the Green Bay Packers. So if you're looking for windows and siding and doors and say, well, what can they do for me? I know that these deals are great, but I want to see how it's going to get set up in my home. I want to see what I can choose for the doors. I heard I can customize some. I want to make sure the windows are going to fit and be good. You have them come out to your house. You go to windowselect.com or call the number I gave you, 262-703-3500. They come out. That's called a consultation, and it's free. They don't charge you for that. And just for doing that alone yet this week, then after the consultation, again, you have not given them any money, but they will give you 2 Packer tickets to an upcoming game to celebrate them being proud partners of the Green Bay Packers. Check them out, windowselect.com, windowselect.com. Speaking of those Packers, there's some injuries that the Packers are dealing with. On the field injuries, although I don't know how Kevin King got hurt. We'll try to dig into that coming up. Ryan Wood, PackersNews.com next.
It's time to find out the latest from Green Bay with Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette. Brought to you by the Thomas Marola Law Offices.
Divorce, child custody, and any other family law needs. Go with experience. Go with Thomas Marola. Online at marolalaw.net or call 414-327-5800.
Good morning, everybody. WSSP. I'm Bart Winkler. Toby Altizer joining us on the Great Midwest Bank Hotline. As you heard, Ryan Wood, PackersNews.com, Green Bay Press-Gazette, covers the team extensively. They call these men and women beat writers. And if you're not going to find few people smarter or more knowledgeable about the teams than beat writers. But I always like to try to find an interesting nugget or a factoid that maybe they have missed. So as we bring in Ryan Wood, I don't know if you know this, but when the Packers drafted Kevin King, Ryan, they could have drafted TJ Watt. I'm not sure if you were aware, but maybe something to write about this week.
I might have heard about that before.
Oh, okay. I thought of that because I don't remember anybody talking about it, but man, imagine having a defensive player of the year instead of a guy who just randomly gets hurt. What do we know what happened to Kevin King? He's listed with a concussion. When did that happen?
Monday, a day after he was listed with an illness. It's really confusing. So the way it went down was, I would, for one, first-person narrative here. I was standing in In-N-Out in San Francisco when Kevin King was listed as an illness and a scratch from Sunday's game. And the first thought is obviously, could this be COVID-related? No, it's not COVID-related, because if it was COVID-related, they would have to do what they did with Tyler Lancaster, which would say it was COVID-19 reserve list, right? So it's not that, but it's just an illness, and it kind of came out of nowhere, and that was that. Yesterday, Matt LaFleur was asked about Kevin King, and he said that he's still in the protocol, which, if you know anything about, the way the league works from an injury perspective, protocol means concussion, but he was listed as an illness. And so,
yeah, but there's a COVID protocol too, right?
Again, they have to list COVID-19 reserve list if it's COVID. That's what they did with Lancaster.
Yeah, because he said protocol, and I'm like, oh well, they listed illness on Sunday, but I didn't hear about COVID, and then I saw the injury report yesterday. It says concussion.
So Matt LaFleur said that Kevin King went to the team on Sunday, said he wasn't feeling well. He was evaluated by the team doctors on the road and was deemed to have an illness. On Monday, when they got back from San Francisco, he said, they had more evaluations and whatnot, and that's when he was put into the concussion protocol. So Kevin King has a concussion. We don't know when that happened, but he's in the concussion protocol until he's not. That's just the way it works. Once you go in the protocol, you're in there until you're not.
Well, if like something happened that they're embarrassed about, they don't really have to be that embarrassed. They can let us know. The Brewers just had their elite eighth inning man punch a wall drunk after a celebration. So now is the time. If something happened that they're covering up, now's the time to tell us, because he won't be the biggest idiot on the planet right now.
Yeah, that Devin Williams thing, that'd be such a Mets thing to do too. That was my first thought when I saw it.
Yeah, Ryan Wood, Mets fan with agony. I was watching some Seinfeld. He was in the booth the other night with those guys. Just thinking, like, and being a Mets fan, you made a couple World Series recently, but you haven't seen your team win a World Series, have you?
No, they won their last World Series in October of 1986, and I was born in May of 1987, so that was bad timing.
Yeah, well, that's a bummer. Maybe someday. I don't know why I'm like being cocky. I've never seen the Brewers win anything. We celebrate teams that lose the World Series like they won them. We had a parade for the 82 Brewers down Wisconsin Avenue. They had a parade, an actual parade. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll see. What about some of these other injuries? Elton Jenkins, is he going to be able to go? I worry about him a little bit. Some of these other guys that are banged up.
Elton Jenkins and MVS, who's got the hamstring, Elton Jenkins with the ankle. They both seem to be in the same boat this week, which is wait and see and give them the whole week and perhaps something of a game time decision. Now, if you're the Packers, you got to feel a whole lot more at ease than a week ago with how Josh Nijman played against Nick Bosa. I mean, yeah, he had the face mask penalty on the first play, didn't give up a sack. And obviously Josh Nijman had a lot of help, quick passing game, committed run game, literally had David Bakhtiari sitting next to him on the bench all four quarters and just kind of go over things series by series, one-on-one. So there was a lot of assistance that he had, but Josh Nijman played pretty darn well against one of the best pass rushers in the league. So if you're the Packers, you certainly feel more confident with your plan this week than a week ago. Now, with that said, you'll take Elgton Jenkins as soon as you can get him back. So he'll get, it's also interesting. Matt LaFleur said that Josh Nijman got the start last week at left tackle. Instead of sliding over Billy Turner to left and then putting Dennis Kelly into right, because there was an outside chance Elgton Jenkins might play last week. So if there's an outside chance last week that Elgton Jenkins might play, even better chance, you would think, after resting a week going into the Steelers game. So just have to see on him. And then as far as MVS goes, those soft tissue injuries, this team's going to be awfully cautious with that because it's early in the season and you don't want to re-aggravate it and have it turn into something more. So both those guys just kind of wait and see mode.
So with MVS, that touchdown catch he had was not only like a great catch, but, if you're doing the highlight reel of his career at some point, that's going to be on there. But also it's a great throw. And if you're doing a highlight reel of Rodgers' long career, that could be on there too. It was such a great throw. I look at MVS and I think the best thing for him in his career at this point is that Devontae's on this team. Because Devontae struggled with drops early, and now he is what he is. I mean, he is great. MVS struggled, but he's always had this guy in Devontae pushing him, believing in him. Rodgers has said a lot of good things about MVS. And so I wonder, with Devontae and his contract and whatever's going to happen there, MVS isn't going to turn into Devontae, but what do we think? Can he be a number one at some point? What do we think the ceiling is for a guy like Marquez Valdes-Scantling in his career?
It's a good question. It's hard to tell because there was a point in Devontae Adams' career when scouts looked at him and said he's not a number one and did not see him becoming a number one. And then he became the best receiver in football. So you never really know what a guy is going to be able to do. MVS kind of has a bit of a Torrey Smith type. He's a deep shot, really good at that. Doesn't do a whole lot else, but that's a nice thing to have in an offense, right? If he's able to kind of polish his underneath stuff and his short to intermediate route running and become a playmaker across the entire field at all levels and be really reliable with the hands, which is really the biggest jump that Devontae Adams made. All those drops he had in 2015, and then the guy he doesn't drop passes anymore. If MVS is able to do that, then sure, because he's got a lot. He's huge. He's got great speed. He's got a lot of talent. So you never know. I mean, right now you look at MVS, and I think scouts would certainly agree that no, he's not a number one. But that doesn't mean that at some point he can't become a number one. So it's a lot of it on MVS and his development. He's young enough to still have that type of ceiling, but it doesn't mean that you always reach it. So it'll be interesting to track what he's able to do as far as that touchdown catch and throw. I mean, that the way that Aaron Rodgers manipulated the height of that ball after it left his hand, and the spin that he put on it to put it right over the defender, it was really impressive. It's one of those throws from Aaron Rodgers that if it was anyone else, you would lose your mind because it's like, where did that come from? But it's Aaron Rodgers, so it's like, it's a throw. Like, it's just what he does. It was one of his best throws of the season for sure.
It's an interesting. This whole Packers-Steelers thing, it's an interesting matchup because they, of course, played in a Super Bowl. Rodgers hasn't played against the Steelers since then because of injuries. The Steelers have not lost to the Packers in a regular season game since 95, I believe, when Yancey Thigpen dropped the ball in the end zone to give the Packers then the NFC Central Championship on I think, Christmas Eve. But it's also interesting because it's two organizations doing two different things with their quarterbacks, and maybe the other one should be doing what the other one's doing. Like, the Packers are preparing for Aaron Rodgers to be as bad as Big Ben is kind of looking lately. But the Steelers are preparing very little to prepare as they're treating him as if he is Aaron Rodgers now. So it's just it's interesting that one team is preparing for the next guy, but the current guy is still playing great. And with the Steelers, Big Ben, like he's listed on the injury report with the pectoral, but really you just spin the wheel of body parts because Big Ben is a walking injury report. So it's just interesting between the two teams.
That's a really great point. And what's interesting about that contrast is that there's so much similarity in terms of how the Steelers and the Packers operate. I mean, these two teams they're solely drafted and developed for so many years. Obviously, the Packers have kind of climbed out of that a little bit with Brian Gutekunst. But the bedrock of both these teams are draft and develop. There's not a lot of change that you see from a GM standpoint, from a head coach standpoint, that in a league that has a continual carousel every season, these two teams are really built on continuity from the GM and the head coach standpoint, and obviously the quarterback standpoint as well. And that goes a long way. There's a lot of value in that continuity and going against the grain. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is. I mean, he's kind of like the Darth Vader of the NFL at this point, right? I mean, you just prop him up and let him go do his thing, way past his prime. And you know, with that said, he's still Ben Roethlisberger, and he can hurt you. So, as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, clearly still at his prime and playing at a high level.
So what do the Steelers do to beat the Packers on Sunday? Because I don't think a lot of Packer fans are going to think that the Packers will lose. We talked to a guy who covers a team out in Pittsburgh, and he says, this could be like Ben's last hurrah. He knows. So I think Ben comes out and, he puts everything on the field. It's going to matter if TJ Watt's playing. It's going to matter if Deontay Johnson's playing. Obviously, Najee Harris is going to be tough to stop, but the line's a little banged up. I think that it could be a competitive game, but I can't really see, and I've been like way off on my predictions so far this year, so who cares what I think, but I have a hard time seeing the Steelers coming into Lambeau and getting a win.
Yeah, I'm only 1-2 on my predictions too. It's been a choppy year. Look, if you're thinking of how the Steelers could win, the Ben Roethlisberger last hurrah thing is I like that idea because there is still just enough left. I mean, he is Ben Roethlisberger that, if you've got a secondary that has miscommunication, which we have seen from this Packers secondary at times this season, he can burn you for that. You got to be on the same page. You've got to not have any breakdowns on the back end against Ben Roethlisberger. He'll see it. He'll hit it. So that's a big one. And on the other side of the ball, Josh Nijman had a really solid game. The offense without Elton Jenkins had a really solid game. But if they don't have Elton Jenkins, they don't have MVS. If you're looking at how the Packers lose, if they can't handle up front and they can't hit big plays, that obviously hurts them as well. So those two spots are where the Packers have to really buckle down and take care of. But if they do, and I think that there's good reason to think they will, then this is a game at Lambeau Field that they should win.
Ryan Wood, BY Ryan Wood on Twitter, by Ryan Wood, PackersNews.com, Green Bay Press Gazette. Thank you for your time. We'll talk on Monday.
All right, take care, Bart.
Ryan Wood joining us on the Great Midwest Bank Hotline. If you're applying for a home renovation loan, you're a bit anxious, breathe. Let Great Midwest Bank help you experience a state of banquility. Get started at greatmidwestbank.com. Fantasy football questions, get them in. You may want to start. There's tonight's matchup is like Bengals, Jaguars. There's startable guys tonight. James Robinson, Chark, Marvin Jones Jr. Somehow I ended up with both of them on my team, so I don't know what to do. Jamar Chase is catching touchdowns. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon struggling. So there's guys tonight that could be a factor for you. It's week 4. You got time to turn it around if you started slow. So Kevin Payne going to help you out with that. That's next. 414-799-1250. If you have a fantasy question for Kevin, 414-799-1250. You can also tweet us with the hashtag AskKevin. It's how we'll see them at 12:50 a.m. The Fan. That's coming up.
Hey, nice party.
Yeah? What's new with you?
Did you know blue whales in Hawaii can be heard off the coast of California?
What?
And time travel to the future may actually be possible.
How is that?
I discovered it on CuriosityStream.
I'm listening.
You can stream thousands of shows on nature, history, science, and so much more.
Cool.
And their annual plans are 25% off, just $1.25 a month.
Now I want to go back in time. Sign up for that deal.
Sign up now at CuriosityStream.com.
CuriosityStream.com.
That's it, CuriosityStream.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McKenna, McKenna BMW in Norwalk and South Bay BMW in Torrance. You haven't heard me on the radio for a while because we haven't had enough cars to sell, but that's all changing. With 2 BMW dealerships serving LA and Orange County, we have a great selection of new BMWs. In fact, if you don't see what you're looking for, it's either on its way or we can special order and deliver it to your door. The days of walking through 1,000 new BMWs are gone, but finding exactly what you want at McKenna BMW or South Bay BMW is here to stay. Visit McKennaCars.com or stop by the dealership nearest you. You're going to thank me.
Looking for a job with flexible hours? Gelson's is the place for you. Gelson's is a grocery store known for our high-quality products and exceptional customer service, and we're looking for bright, personable individuals to join our winning team. Gelson's is officially rated a great place to work. We offer many benefits, including a union environment, competitive wages, healthcare, flexible schedules, and even a 25% employee discount through the end of the year. Apply today at gelsons.com/careers, and don't forget to place your Thanksgiving orders today at gelsons.com.
12:50 a.m. The Fan. I'm Bart. That's Toby. Kevin Payne joining us. It's your time. Free fantasy football advice. What could be better? You could tweet us 12:50 a.m. The Fan with the hashtag AskKevin. That's how we'll find them. You could also give us a shout. 414-799-1250. 414-799-1250. Kevin Payne joins us on the Great Midwest Bank Hotline. Fantasy football help coming up in 60 seconds. I just got to ask you something about these Steelers. So they beat the Bills in Buffalo, but then they go back home. They lose 2 games, Raiders and Bengals, and we'll figure out what they're like. Steelers come obviously here is why I wonder how. I don't think the Steelers are good. How did they beat Buffalo? Was that just like the Packers had a bad week 1? Was that the same with the Bills?
It was, and it wasn't even like a whole bad week 1. They were up double digits at halftime. It was just a bad second half, and the Bills just completely let down. Sometimes the Bills kind of played to the level of their opponent, and I think that was kind of the case in that game. Also remember, though, the Steelers were much more healthier then. Watt was playing. He's banged up. Who else is the other guy that was banged up? Hightower. So they've been really not doing too well. And Ben, I think as the weeks go on, I think he's getting more and more hurt. And you saw last week when you have to dump down to Najee Harris, 19 pass attempts to him. That's ridiculous. So you know he's not getting the ball downfield. And granted, he had a couple of wide receivers who were banged up. Deontay Johnson was already out. Juju left the game. Even Claypool was a little bit banged up as well. And you've got guys like Washington out there. So some injuries have hit them, but I feel this isn't like an easy spot for the Packers. I feel this might be a little bit of a trap game coming off that big Sunday night victory. I think they pull it out, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Yeah, I still what is the spread, like 7? I still think they're around a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. I don't think much of the Steelers, and I know that if they get some of these guys back, that's one thing. But you're right. Ben is my joke is that he's on the injury report with a pectoral. But they just spin the wheel of body parts because he's always hurt all over the place all the time. So he's got everything hurt.
Yeah, I actually wrote about Mason Rudolph this week just because I think that if you're in a super flex or 2-quarterback league, anybody who's a starting quarterback is relevant. And I think at some point Ben has this quote-unquote injury that keeps him out for a little bit, and Mason Rudolph steps in because I think that's what they're going to have to do at some point. And the one telling factor was in the preseason, I saw a picture of Ben, and he was wrapped and taped. He looked like a mummy. He had ice on basically every single body part that was wrapped on him. And I think that finally, he's a big guy. He's tough. Don't get me wrong. But I think all these years of taking all this abuse has finally taken its toll on him.
Let's get some fantasy questions. 414-799-1250. Tom is in Franklin. Tom, what do you got for Kevin Payne?
Yeah, good morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning.
PPR week, Kevin, I need one of these running backs. James Robinson plays tonight against Cincinnati. or Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell, either one of those two that play against Seattle on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's a great matchup against Seattle. They have gotten absolutely torched. They were torched by Alexander Madison, who had the second most rushing yards last week. You're talking about a backup that steps in there. The week before, Seattle got absolutely hammered by Derrick Henry, which, I mean, it can happen to anybody, but Henry had a monster game that week. So I would go with James Robinson tonight. And then if you're looking for the second one, as long as Elijah Mitchell's out there, and I think he's trending towards being active, I would go with Elijah Mitchell. Trey Sermon is one of the few running backs that stepped into that 49ers backfield and was not able to have a great game. Good game, yes. Great game, no. So as long as Elijah Mitchell's active, I would go with him over Trey Sermon this week.
Are there do you like anybody tonight? Because it's going to be a weird matchup, kind of. I don't think anyone's like super juiced for it. We'll all watch, but there's some good fantasy potential with Jacksonville's wide receivers. Jamar Chase is catching touchdowns. Joe Mixon still needs to really get going.
Yeah, and Mixon's getting the volume, and that's what I really like to see. I thought he was a little bit underrated coming into the season, so I'm not really too high on the quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is averaging 5.7 yards per attempt and has a 5.27 touchdown to interception ratio. He's not making some very good decisions for Jacksonville. DJ Chark's the guy that I would take a look at. He's at least a flex guy, but you want to put him in your wide receiver spot since he's playing tonight. And Jamar Chase. No more questions about Jamar Chase. He is matchup proof. You put him in each and every week as far as I'm concerned. He's shown that he can go ahead and get it done. And Tyler Boyd, too, is another good guy. Another guy who's kind of underrated. I mean, people forget he's only 26 years old. He really was kind of the star wide receiver before you went and brought in T. Higgins and this year before Jamar Chase. So they got a really potent three wide receivers there for the Bengals. So quarterbacks I'm staying away from. Mixon, yes. James Robinson, probably yes. Had a good game. He seems to be trending in an upward direction where they're going to be using him more. But, yeah, so those guys, I think there's going to be some fantasy value here tonight. I don't think it's going to be a total sleeper. And as you said, yeah, we're all going to watch. It's on Thursday night. There's nothing else to watch. So I expect some fantasy production here out of both of these teams.
Actually, I do have a Jamar Chase question. Jamar Chase needs two. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones.
Okay, so, man, I'm not sure. I think they're going to keep A.J. Brown out again. So I think this is going to be an easy call in going with Julio and Chase. But keep in mind, Julio's a little bit banged up himself. He left the game last week. He didn't practice yesterday. So he's a little bit banged up himself. So Chase is a no-brainer for me. And then it's obviously going to be an easy decision if they rule A.J. Brown out, which I think they're going to, especially given this matchup with the Jets. John is on the east side. John, what do you got for Kevin?
Okay, good morning. Yeah, I'm actually going to be benching A.J. Brown this week because the production the last 2 weeks were not there. So my flex question is Devontae Parker out of Miami or, Devontae Parker or, one second. Let me tell you one more time. All right, Devontae Parker or the other player that I was thinking of was Chase Claypool.
All right, we'll edit all that out, and we're not a live show today, so we'll edit all that out. Don't you worry about that, John.
Yes, Devontae Parker. Chase Claypool. No, that's okay. Look, I'm probably going with Claypool as long as he's going to be out there. Deontay Johnson is trending towards being back, but I think I'm going to go with Claypool. Devontae Parker, good matchup at home against Indianapolis. I think actually Miami pulls this one out and gets the W here, but I'm going to say Claypool between the two because I think he's probably the healthiest of the three wide receivers for Pittsburgh and should probably play the most amount of snaps.
All right, this is from Tom. He needs two wide receivers PPR. McLaurin, Chase, Deebo Samuel, Claypool, Odell.
Not Odell, not Claypool. I think you have to stick with Deebo just given how much he's done. I know Ayuk is back in the mix, but I like this whole matchup against Seattle. And then between I would go with McLaurin. So I know I'm sitting here saying no more questions about Chase. And if you really like Chase better, no problem with going with him tonight over McLaurin. But McLaurin gets Atlanta on the road, and Atlanta's just been terrible on both sides of the ball. I know they finally got in the win column last week, but that was against the Giants. That says enough. Low bar to clear. So I'm going with McLaurin and Deebo, but Chase is there. If you really like Chase a little bit better, no problem with going him over McLaurin.
Tyler has John and Smith. He wants to know if he should pick up Dawson Knox, your boy, or Tremble from Carolina instead.
Yeah, so Tremble's interesting. Kid out of Notre Dame, and they even said on the broadcast last week that when they drafted him, they got a lot of phone calls from around the league saying, you've got a really good kid here, and I think that they went ahead and traded Arnold because they knew they've got something in Tremble. But Ian Thomas is still there as well. Now, they really used him more for blocking, so I think it's going to be an opportunity for Tremble to run a lot of passes. That all being said, believe it or not, Dawson Knox ran more pass routes last week than Cole Beasley. So he seems to be a guy that Josh Allen trusts in the red zone. So I would take a look at him. The other guy, and I wrote about him in my waiver wire this week, is Tyler Conklin from the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's going to be tough between him and KJ Osborne. Who's going to be kind of that third guy after Jefferson and Thielen each and every week? He might be a guy to take a look at, but out of those guys, I like Dawson Knox the best, especially with the Bills being such a big favorite at home this week.
BJ says Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts, 6 points per passing TD.
Gosh, and it's a good matchup at home for Burrow, but I'm going to say Jalen Hurts because believe it or not, I think he ended up scoring more fantasy points than Dak Prescott on that Monday night game. So
yeah, a lot of garbage time, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of garbage time. He does a lot of stuff with his feet. And has Kansas City slowed anybody down on defense so far this season? Plus, Philadelphia is at home. I know Burrow is as well, and 6 points does mean something for the passing touchdown. But Philadelphia's got a great set of receivers, so I'm going to say go Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow.
Tanker is in Cedarburg. Tanker, what's up?
Good morning, fellas. Hey, I got a flex question. Should I start Thielen or that backup running back for Carolina, Hubbard?
That is a good question. So I think there's a little bit better of a floor for Hubbard going into Dallas. He should get the majority of the work. I don't think Royce Freeman's he's just going to be kind of the change of pace guy. All that being said, it's tough to get away from Thielen just because he's scored in every game so far, I believe. He's, getting the yardage. Cousins has been fantastic. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions for Kirk Cousins so far, averaging over 300 passing yards a game, believe it or not. So I'm going to say stick with Thielen. I would love to, if you could figure out a way to get Hubbard into your lineup, I would try to do so. But I think that Thielen's going to be a little bit safer between the two. So I would go Thielen over Hubbard this week.
My guy Barbecue Jay, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? I have 2 quick questions.
Okay.
So, Big Ben or Ryan Tannehill?
I think you go with Tannehill, especially given the matchup with the Jets.
Yep, because Ben screwed me over the last couple of weeks. And I have Jaleel White out for the
James White.
James White, sorry.
Jaleel White was Urkel.
It was.
Can I do that?
A.J. Dillon or Madison from the Vikings?
Yeah, so this is an easy one if we see that Dalvin Cook's going to be out. But I even think if Dalvin Cook is back, Madison's got a decent piece of that timeshare. So I'm going to say go with Madison over A.J. Dillon. Yeah, and it looks like James White, I think the news dropped yesterday that he's out for the season, so he can go ahead and drop him. And Jaleel White playing football would be very interesting to see.
Well, Urkel can't play, but then when he's the other one, what is he when he's the other guy?
I know what you're talking about. The Suave guy, yeah, who's like real smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Laura actually digs him.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot Steve.
Stefan Urkel? Was it that?
Might be Stefan.
Stefan or something like that. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. It used to be my grandmother's favorite show.
Oh, yeah. It's a great show. Family Matters.
Absolutely.
The Family Matters house in the opening credits is now, they took it down. I think it's now an apartment building.
Yes, and remember, Laura's dad was the cop in Die Hard.
That's right. Carl Winslow.
Yes, Carl Winslow.
Hey, what do you think Tom Brady's going to do Sunday night?
I think he's going to go nuts. I mean, we're getting the stories now. I think I just saw on DraftKings.com, they have a wager over 68.5. Now, think about that. And Gronk scores a touchdown. So over 68.5 receiving yards. So think about what that number has to be over. And Gronk scores a touchdown. It's 4.5 to 1. That feels like they're giving money away. I mean, basically, the story that's come out this week is that he left New England, and he's always going to be on good terms with New England, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. But the story was he wanted to play till he was 45, and he wanted a game plan of, hey, I'm going to stay here and play till 45, or I'm going to leave. And they said, nope, we're going to go in a different direction. So I think Brady, especially coming off that loss last week, is going to do everything he can to throw for 400 or 500 yards. And I think that we even saw it. As long as Gronk's healthy, I think he's that out yesterday. I think that Gronk is going to be a big part of that. Whenever Gronk has come back here to Buffalo, which he grew up 5 minutes from where I live, he has pasted the Bills, and I think that he's got a ton of friends and family in the stands. I think that was absolutely done on purpose, and I think we're going to see them go nuts Sunday night in New England.
Should a listener start him over Kyler Murray?
No.
I'm gonna. Come on, I gotta have fun with this. It's Patriots, Brady. I gotta play Brady.
Okay, but why do you have both of them? Trade one of them.
No, it's Dynasty.
Oh, Dynasty. Yeah, okay, that's a different.
So I'm hanging on to Brady. I got Kyler for.
And you know what? I think it's not a huge upset. I think they're getting 4 or 5 points. I think Arizona goes in and beats the Rams this week. I think that they're going to be in for a little bit of a letdown after last week's big game. So I like Kyler a lot. I would stick with him. But if you go with Brady, I mean, it's first world problems. Do I play Brady or do I play Kyler Murray? I think you'll be fine either way.
Can we go quick lightning round to get the rest of these in here?
Yep, let's go.
Justin, Swift or Gibson?
Gibson matchup.
All right, Bootsy, no PPR, needs 2. Hubbard, Darrell Henderson, James Robinson.
I don't trust Henderson at all this week, even if he's out there and playing. He's not going to carry the full workload. We're going to see a lot of Sony Michel, so sit Henderson no matter what.
Byron needs 2 non-PPR. Miles Sanders, Hollywood Brown, Robert Woods.
Gosh, I think you have to sit Woods just based on what he does, but I think this is going to be his week with a lot of attention placed on Cooper Kupp. I think Woods is the guy you bench, but I think he's going to finally break out this week as well.
Jonathan Taylor or Hubbard?
I would go Hubbard. It just came out yesterday that Taylor has been dealing with a knee injury, which is why we've seen a little bit more of Nyheim Hines as of late.
All right. Devontae Smith or Brandon Ayuk?
Let's go with Smith. I know Ayuk had the touchdown grab last week, but I need to see that he's going to get more targets and he's going to be out of the doghouse completely. So let's stick with Smith in that home game.
This guy just needs 1. Edwards-Helaire, Gibson, Kareem Hunt, or James Robinson, PPR?
Gosh, Robinson's close, but I'm going to say go with Edwards-Helaire. It was nice to see the Chiefs stuck with him after he fumbled last week. He looks like he may be all the way back. I expect this game to be a shootout in Philadelphia, so let's go with CEH.
Kevin Payne, KC, PAYNE 26 on Twitter, rotowire.com. Still got the free trial going on, correct?
Yeah, rotowire.com/free to sign up for your free 10-day trial. Check out, I've got 3 articles every week going up there. Or as you said, hit me up on Twitter. If we didn't get to your question, I'll make sure we get to it well before kickoff.
Kevin, I appreciate your time more than you'll ever know.
Bart, I appreciate your time as well, and I appreciate the Urkel talk.
Stefan Urkel. We were onto it. It was Stefan.
Stefan. See, yeah, I still have a few brain cells firing outside of football.
Yeah. All right, Kevin. See ya.
Okay, we'll talk to you next week, Bart.
Kevin Payne on the Great Midwest Bank Hotline. If you're applying for a home renovation loan and you're a bit anxious, breathe. Let Great Midwest Bank help you experience a state of banquility. Get started at greatmidwestbank.com. Patriots, Buccaneers. I don't know if you guys heard about this. It is Sunday Night Football. You think Tom Brady goes off? I just don't see how he doesn't. Patriots aren't. It's not like they have they have Mac Jones.
Yeah, they're not that great. Tom Brady goes off big time.
Yeah, I got to play him over Kyler. I think I do. 414-799-1250. We're going to talk with Rami Makloff, who I don't get what it is. Like, I love Rami. We seem kind of like we'd be lockstep with each other on a lot of stuff, but we're not. And the take that we disagree with right now, it's like not just like a bad take, but the fate of the world could depend on it. And Rami is pro the world ending, okay? Rami is pro the world coming to an end, and I don't get why. So I'll talk to him about that coming up in a few minutes. Don't forget the big show today, 10 to 2, and then Rami will be in for his show coming up at 3 o'clock. We're back with Rom Dog. Next.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. We're gonna fill our house with happiness, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness.
Have you cut the cord and are feeling bored with your streaming services? CuriosityStream can help. With thousands of documentary films and TV shows, let CuriosityStream put the science back in your screen time. Astound you with history come to life and wildlife that will reach out and grab you. We've got the fix for your nonfiction addiction. Watch us on any device, anywhere you are. Visit CuriosityStream.com to sign up and start streaming now.
Looking for a job with flexible hours? Gelson's is the place for you. Gelson's is a grocery store known for our high-quality products and exceptional customer service, and we're looking for bright, personable individuals to join our winning team. Gelson's is officially rated a great place to work. We offer many benefits, including a union environment, competitive wages, healthcare, flexible schedules, and even a 25% employee discount through the end of the year. Apply today at gelsons.com/careers, and don't forget to place your Thanksgiving orders today at gelsons.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McKenna, McKenna BMW in Norwalk and South Bay BMW in Torrance. You haven't heard me on the radio for a while because we haven't had enough cars to sell, but that's all changing. With 2 BMW dealerships serving LA and Orange County, we have a great selection of new BMWs. In fact, if you don't see what you're looking for, it's either on its way or we can special order and deliver it to your door. The days of walking through 1,000 new BMWs are gone, but finding exactly what you want at McKenna BMW or South Bay BMW is here to stay. Visit McKennaCars.com or stop by the dealership nearest you. You're going to thank me.